The government of Beijing has created a new task force called the Environmental Police. Their goal is to combat violators of environmental laws in the Beijing area. The past months, the city has been combating massive smog, and the government has instigated several new laws to try and combat this smog. Citizens are no longer allowed to burn garbage out in the streets or to start barbecues in their terraces. This environmental police is there to check that citizens are not violating these specific new laws. The government also says that they want to reduce the number of coals used by the city by 30% before the end of 2017. At the moment, China is the largest consumer of coals for fuel in the world. Coals are notorious for the amount of pollution they cause. They emit a lot of carbon dioxide and soot into the atmosphere when they are burned in the big centrals. All of this seems fine and dandy, but it does nothing to combat the real problem and the real causes of the smog, namely the steel factories just south and east of the city, namely in big cities like Tangshan. At the moment, the house market is in a massive boom, and a lot of construction is underway. All these construction sites need steel, so all the factories are working at full speed. The wind carries the smog of these factories towards Beijing. Normally in the summer and autumn there is little to be noticed because the wind prevents the smog from hanging over the city. But in the winter, when there's almost no wind, it descends upon the town and leaves the city in a blanket of pollution. Last December, the smog was so bad that schools had to be shut down. It was no longer safe to travel over the streets. People had to wear protection to prevent themselves from getting all kinds of respiratory problems. Lots of elderly people were admitted to the hospital because they couldn't breathe. To combat the smog, a lot of cars were no longer allowed into the city and factories had to close temporarily. But that was just the problem word right there. Temporarily. There has been no solid structural laws and measures to help prevent the smog from being born again. All of this can easily be explained. Economic growth. At the moment, the pollution of the environment and pollution of the air is outweighed by economic growth in China. The Communist Party wants to show the people that the country is doing well, but lately growth has been slowing down. No longer does the economy grow by 12-13% every year, but rather 6 or 7%. They need the steel factories to keep working, to keep making a profit. They need to keep the steel production going, to build more houses, to build more factories, to produce more goods, and to keep the economy growing. For a long time, people in China were satisfied with this. They could notice their lives getting better. They could notice they had more money to spend on goods for families. They could buy their first car. They could buy their own house in a better neighborhood. They could take their family out to dinner and have more parties. But the smog is starting to take its toll, and especially the younger generation is seeing the damage the smog and the pollution is doing to their country and also to the health of the people of China. This new environmental police then is only a facade, a show to put on by the local government to try to convince the people they're taking the problem seriously, that they're acting upon it. Well, in reality, it is nothing more than a facade. Nothing real, nothing concrete is being done to stop the cause of the problem. And as long as the national government has economic growth as the number one priority for China, we can expect very little different policies from them in the near future.